These 12 absolute best men's fragrances for summer nights will easily make you smell crazy good. These are the ultimate summer night kings and epic compliment getters. Before I begin, a like and a subscribe is highly appreciated, thank you. So let's start with this thing right here, and I don't care what anyone says, this is still one of the kings of men's fragrances. You get a spicy fresh kick, a super smooth dose of citrus and a gorgeous dose of lavender, and that sort of a nuanced dose of freshness sits on top of what I think is quite a musky, ambery and softly woody base. Whereas the original Sauvage Eau de Toilette hits you with its intense dose of freshness, Sauvage Eau de Parfum definitely goes in a much smoother direction. Sauvage Eau de Parfum develops in such an attractive way on summer nights, so sexy, so mass appealing, and the performance is pretty good. Highly recommended for summer nights. So if you're a subscriber, then you probably know that I absolutely love the Le Beau line. I did a complete guide to the Le Beau line and which Le Beau is the best for summer. I'm gonna link to that comparison somewhere up here and in the description below. Le Beau Le Parfum is basically the slightly warmer, definitely less fresh and more rich version of Le Beau, which is the reason why I prefer this on summer nights. And to me, Le Beau Le Parfum is primarily a woody scent with sweet vanilla and coconut. There's a bit of sweet pineapple in Le Beau Le Parfum as well, which basically amps up the tropical vibe of it. There's a bit of fresh ginger in the opening as well, and the dry run, at least to my nose, is a bit ambery. On super warm days, I definitely go for the fresher Le Beaus. However, this on summer nights is an absolute compliment master. The performance of Le Beau Le Parfum is definitely the best in the line, and I usually go for around 4 to 6 or 8 space, maybe pushing it to 10 if I'm out for long. So moving on to this, and this is such a nice and easy to like kind of scent. This is simply one of those scents a lot of people find very sexy, and what an insane compliment getter this is on summer nights. And you basically get quite a nuanced dose of freshness with what I think is a gorgeous dose of sage, and that freshness sits on top of what I think is quite a woody base with a gorgeous bubblegumish kind of sweetness to it. I actually don't know what they did to its freshness to get it to be this sort of a sweet, but the way that freshness develops on summer nights is fantastic. And I know some people feel Born in Roma, the OG Eau de Toilette is a bit too sweet, but I actually do not agree. I do feel that its woodiness helps to balance its sweetness. And this is an absolute banger to wear when you're going on a date on summer nights. Whereas I usually mostly reach for the Absolu and the OG Myslf Eau de Toilette on summer days, this on summer nights is fantastic. Mysf Le Parfum is basically the slightly warmer, sweeter and more woody version of Mysf. You have that signature Mysf orange blossom with a bit of freshness, quite a prominent dose of vanilla, and the whole thing has a prominent woody base. So it's floral, vanillic and woody with a bit of sweetness. That fusion of Mysf's orange blossom and a bit of sweet vanilla is a fantastic one to wear on summer nights. You're basically getting this super sexy, amber, warm, vanillic and floral scent cloud all around you. Try Mysf Le Parfum on summer nights and let me know in the comments if you end up getting any compliments. So moving on to this, which actually took me quite some time to warm up to. But nowadays, this thing is definitely amongst my favorites for summer nights. This has a gorgeous dose of fresh lavender, so it's bright and fresh in an aromatic way. And that freshness is combined with what I think is a super sexy dose of sweetness. And the dry is basically where Azzaro, the Most Wanted EDT Intense, turns a bit woody with a really nice, but also in a way quite unique kind of booziness to it. The way Azzaro combines citrus, lavender moss together with something that is a bit boozy and a bit sweet is fantastic, and it sure gets compliments on summer nights. So moving on to the next one, the Eau de Parfum opens up with a super smooth, slightly sweet dose of fresh grapefruit. Then it moves into the heart where you're getting this gorgeous, super sexy and super smooth dose of vanilla. The vanilla in Ocean Eau de Parfum is definitely among some of the smoothest I've ever put my nose to. The dry night is where the whole thing turns quite woody, and you also have this gorgeous amber warmth and shine to it. And what really makes it unique is how all that is combined and the extreme smoothness of it all. And it's almost a given thing that I'm gonna get a compliment or at least someone saying, hey, something here smells good whenever I spray this on summer nights. I think the Eau de Parfum is a lot better than the Eau de Toilette, and I definitely get more compliments with this. So moving on to an absolutely epic compliment getter and definitely one of the summer night kings. And this is basically, at least to my nose, most mostly about an intense and actually quite nuanced dose of freshness and smooth dose of freshness, together with a prominent dose of fruitiness and quite a noticeable dose of sweetness. And I know some feel that Rasasi Hawas is way too sweet, but I actually feel it's quite intense and smooth dose of freshness helps in balancing up the whole thing. And when Hawas goes into the dry down on summer night, you're gonna get this gorgeous and super sexy, fruity, sweet and ambery scent cloud all around you. Hawas is incredibly mass appealing, and I actually feel, I mean, they pumped out so many fragrances over the years, but I actually feel the OG Hawas is still among some of their best. So moving on to an incredibly underrated line of men's fragrances, but this is definitely one of the summer night kings and a fantastic compliment getter. First of all, this has what is probably one of the very best takes of plum in a men's fragrance, and it also has what is probably one of the very best takes on the combo of lavender and geranium in a men's fragrance. So what you're basically getting with Bad Boy Cobalt, this is the OG Eau de Parfum, is a fantastic dose of aromatic freshness and brightness, together with a super sexy dose of fruitiness and sweetness from plum. That combo sits on top of what I think is an incredibly smoothly woody base, and the whole thing has a mass appealing kind of earthiness to it. And the way its fantastic aromatic freshness and that sexy fruitiness develops on summer nights is insane. So moving on to this, which is definitely one of the sexiest takes on Code. This is spicy, vanillic and sweet, with a gorgeous dose of freshness in the opening and a bit of amber warmth and shine in the dry down. And the dry down is where you're getting that signature Armani Code tonka bean with its intense sexy vibe. And the whole thing has a super creamy, quite smooth kind of feel to it in the dry down. Armani Code Eau de Parfum's mix of freshness, vanilla with a bit of sweetness is a fantastic one and a compliment getting one on summer nights. So I believe this is my second summer with this, and I mean, this is an absolute compliment monster on summer nights. Invictus Victory Absolu is among some of the best in the line. You're basically getting this attention grabbing, sexy, spicy kick in the opening, and a super creamy, almost balsamic dose of sandalwood in the dry down. And the whole thing has a gorgeous ambery warmth and shine to it, which on summer nights smells insanely good. The smoothness of its woodiness, the soft sweetness it has, and its gorgeous amberiness is to me intoxicating. And it's definitely not just me. Whenever I spray this thing properly, I almost always get a reaction from someone. So moving on to what is probably one of the most attention grabbing scents in this lineup. And they combined the freshness of citrus, sage and geranium with chili pepper in this one. But the main twist, or the sort of main star of this, is really how they combine that nuanced kind of freshness and spiciness with the fruitiness and sweetness from fig. The freshness here is so good and so smooth, and the way that fig pops is fantastic. And when the whole thing dries down, you're getting that freshness and fruitiness and sweetness on what I think is a super smooth woody base. Eau de Parfum is still so different compared to most other fragrances out there, and that makes it a very attention grabbing kind of scent. And I do think this is a men's fragrance for a man who wants to wear something that is quite different. So from one fragrance with fig in it to another, they are however very different. But with that said, this is also a very attention grabbing kind of scent with its uniqueness. And you basically get the fruitiness and sweetness from fig together with what I think is probably one of the creamiest and smoothest doses of sandalwood in a fragrance on a musky and softly vanillic base. And the musk in this definitely gives it quite a prominent dose of powderiness. Spray it on your skin on a warm summer night and you're gonna get this super creamy, woody, fruity and sweet scent cloud all around you. I still don't have anything else quite like Santal Blanc in my collection. So classy yet so sexy and absolutely fantastic on summer nights. Drop a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments your absolute favorite fragrances for summer nights, and make sure to check out my other video over there.